before you see your x-rays, I just want to walk you through what it is I want to do for you. No different than if you had a new client and, they like, oh, they have one perception, I got a trainer or, a coach. Like, let me explain how I approach this. If you want to get the good results, then let me at least walk you through it, okay? Because people say, well, I know what you do. Yeah, then why are we out of toilet paper? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's been kind of crazy. So I want to walk you through just what I want you to know, because this is the most important visit I have with you. This is where I really want to show you how we're going to help you be healthy, be strong. I mean, you're already into fitness. You're already into life. This just fits perfect. This doesn't add more to your life. This makes what you're doing work that much better. It's like dropping a big 450 engine into your car so it can go faster and you have more fun driving your thing called life. And that's kind of the preference. So the video talked about why we do and have been around the world helping people. Here's the thing. If I walked into a junkyard and I saw all those cars all rusted out and broken down, one person would say, oh, those cars must have been all defective. And I'd say, no, they weren't defective, driver error. That makes sense? The driver really didn't know how to take care of the car, didn't know how to properly feed and care for, take care of it. Because if the driver would have known how to take care of the car, it wouldn't be in the junkyard. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's what I want to, when I see heart disease and cancer and diabetes and people overweight and obesity, it's not, the body is not junk, it's driver error. And so people think, oh, I know what chiropractic is. I'm like, well, let me show you what it is here so that you can understand it. I mean, we just had a lady come in today. She was so freaked out about just so many fears because she just didn't understand what we wanted to do to help her. And if I could just get her started and get her healing, then she would have saw, oh, okay, it's not this. So I want to make sure we go over, and then when we're done, I'll show you your x-rays. I'll go over my recommendations. You'll pick whatever financial option you want to pick, and then we'll get you better. Again, the overall thing for this is to show you your x-rays to say, listen, here's the problem. I know you want to do all this with your life, but your spine's going to tell you that it's going to be really hard, if impossible, if we don't get this going first, okay? And again, I don't make the rules. It's just where it's at. Right. And the main thing that makes us different is that healing is electric first. Healing's electric first. So we came in, we did an exam, and I wanted to find out if your brain was in a good mood or your brain's in a bad mood. Because wherever your brain is at, that tells me how you're going to do and how you're going to heal. There's a whole neurological, immunological 8 hours, 10 hours of research, and not research, of workshop, that what happens when your brain's in a bad mood and how that then goes to the chemicals, that goes to the hormones, and then that goes to behavior. So there's a whole set of problems that go with this kind of brain, and there's a whole set of good news that goes with this brain, from brain to neural image to hormone production to now behavior. So what I want to do is make sure we take you from here to here and then keep you there for as long as possible. That's the key. And if it wasn't like that, if healing wasn't electric, then Robert would be alive today still. So a couple x-rays here. Robert got in a car accident when he was 25, like a lot of people do. Was told never see a chiropractor, like a lot of people are told. Age 55, he's miserable, right? I mean, he felt strong at 25, could do anything, but the car accident was the first step of literally draining the battery. So what did he do? The doctor put him on some anti-inflammatories, and that led to blood pressure medication, and then that led to depression medication. So by age 55, he's miserable, he's depressed, he has congestive heart failure, he still has the neck pain, and he's not better yet. So he comes into our office and says, what can you do for me? The doctor said, you're voodoo, you're a witch doctor, what can you do? Can you crack my back? I'm like, no, well, let's see what's wrong first. So we took an x-ray like we do on everybody. So here's his x-ray. I said, oh, I see you've had neck surgery. Yeah, I've had facet injections, I've had neck surgery, and I'm still miserable. I'm like, okay, interesting. So I took his x-ray and I said, well, the black line is where your spine's supposed to be. The red dotted line is where your spine is at. And I said, so basically, I got all kinds of tools here. This is how I want to see your spine. When your spine's in good posture, your brain's sending good health, good strong hormones, good behavior. But if your spine does this, now what are your vertebrae doing to your nerves? They're pinching.
Yeah.
The brain senses that as something's wrong, oh crap, and your fight or flight kicks in. Your afferent pathway kicks in, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, and you can't stop from the bear chasing you. So that cranks up inflammation. Now you're in chronic pain. Now you're in chronic degeneration. You get the cytokine storm going on that they're all talking about. So that's this guy. And he tried medication, shots, and surgery. And I'm thinking, if that really stuff works, then why is this guy so miserable? So we took an x-ray. I want to see this. I saw that. And I said, Robert, there's your problem. We've got to correct that. We've got to do something to stop your brain from freaking out and get your brain going this direction, get you reconnected. So from here to here. He said, okay. So we adjusted him. We took him through the process like we do. We re-x-rayed him with the head weights on, and you'll see yours in a minute with the head weights on. And here's his x-ray. So with his head weights on, we saw the spine begin to come back. Now it doesn't always happen that way, but we're like, okay, we adjusted you, we put the head weights on you, we saw your brain begin to pull back, which means open the nerves, so now we can help you. The bad news is, now we need time. Let's go 3 times a week, let's re-x-ray 90 days, and as your x-rays get better, the number of visits go down, and then we can get you to maintenance and keep you healing. All right, doc, I'll call you, which you have a client say, oh, we'll call you back, and you never again. And I remember all those people after 30 years. It still haunts me. But I never saw them again. The problem is he didn't get it. Healing's electric. So he left here just like this. So guess what happened to all his bad hormones? They kept cranking up. So finally inflammation got to his heart. In 6 weeks, he had a heart attack and he died. Could it have been stopped? Absolutely. But only way is get the switch flipped to here. So, again, if healing wasn't electric and it was just a bunch of chemicals, he should be the healthiest guy in the world. It's not. So we got to be careful because I struggle right now as a chiropractor because I know what works to get you healthy, and yet out there on TV they're telling us to do something completely different, and it literally is going to make you unhealthy. So I will always tell you what to do to get healthy. It's your choice to figure out what you want to do with that, but I always will lead you the right direction. Even if it's to harm with my career, doesn't matter. It's here to help you get better, okay? Because some things I do isn't necessarily popular out there. People get mad at me. Doesn't matter. I want to take care of you and get you better, okay? So that's Robert's story. The other story, 2 more, is about John. Now John liked chiropractic. I didn't have to convince him to get adjusted, but he was taught, especially like right now, with a lot of the other like different chiropractic, like the Joint and Kaiser being closed. I'm going to the guy, like, I'm your only choice. Come on in here. So they're used to just walking into the doctor's office, laying down, crack, 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 and they say, okay, come back when it hurts again. And to them, they've been trained, that's chiropractic. That's not chiropractic here, okay, because it doesn't produce the better life. It doesn't produce a healthier life. It doesn't make your life easier. There's a lot of people seeing chiropractors who are still depressed. They're still on all kinds of medication. They come with cancer, heart disease, diabetes, right? They're not changing their lifestyle. And they think I see a chiropractor 12 times a year. I go whenever. I love chiropractic, right? But no one ever x-rays him. This guy loved chiropractic, paid his $40 copay, take 9 Tylenol before he played golf, right? Because his back hurt, chronic back pain. So I take an x-ray of him, and 45 degrees is his magic number. I want to see. His curve was 10. So 45 means the curves are good in the lower back and the neck. Anything less than that means there's pinching and there's a loss of function, right, on the nervous system. So he's pinching. 45 is ideal, his is 10. When we go look at your x-rays, I'm going to say, Eric, 45 is ideal, yours is, and you'll see your numbers in your neck and your lower back. You also will look at your x-rays from the front. I have digital lines drawn here and drawn up here. We've got to see the spine on the lines there. That way we have full power going on, okay? So I looked at his x-rays. I said, John, you got 20 years of disease on your spine because everything's all rusted here. We've got work to do. Now, what I'm going to do with you is different than what your other chiropractor did. We're going to go as fast as you want, but my recommendations are that we see you 3 times a week, and we re-x-ray 90 days. Why? It's taken 25 years for your spine to get this way. So if it's taken 25 years to get out of shape or to get this way, how long does it take to get it better? Right? Yeah. You and I are in the same business. You just want to give them kettlebells, and I'm just going to get them adjusted, and we work together, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to save money, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't. So his spine stayed on this path, and cortisol stayed jacked up, adrenaline stayed jacked up, his body started growing cancer cells. The brain said, oh, leave those cancer cells alone. So no apoptosis happened, the cells lived, and he ended up with prostate cancer. Was I shocked? No, you've had damage pinching on the nerves, the brain, that's what happens when this happens. So he thought going to the Cancer Centers of America was going to save him money. $500,000 later. Even if they cut the nasty prostate out, if they never turn the power back on, what's his brain going to do to the rest of his body? Just make more cancer. So, yes, the goal is to change your spine. Why? Because that changes your brain. We've got to get your brain going from here to here. How do we do that? We change its perception by changing the spine. The more pressure you have on your vertebrae, your nerves, the more pressure is on your brain. The less pressure, that's why mobility and stretching and flexibility is so powerful, because the brain goes, oh, I can move, everything's okay. But you lock down something and that dysfunctional mobility, that dysfunctional workout begins happening, right? You're putting in bad behavior. That's because your afferent and efferent pathways are all messed up. So he didn't do this, therefore his brain kept making disease, and he ends up with prostate cancer. So I don't want that to happen to you. The last x-ray I like to show is my daughter. Toughest case to date, right? Did everything right and everything went wrong. Her case made me question God, made me question chiropractic, made me question my marriage, everything. This girl put me through the ringers. Happy to say she's 31 years old now, living on her own, having a very, very productive life, but everything you see here, I owe to Leah, because I had to get better as a doctor so that I could bring healing to my daughter. Here's the story. First of all, guess when the first time your spine started to go the wrong way? It got twisted. Guess how old you were when it got twisted like that?
Well, I watched your video. I'm pretty sure you said at birth.
At birth, see? Hey, all the answers are there. See, this goes much faster. This doesn't have to be 5 hours, right? This will be just 4. No, I'm kidding. So birth process, right? Now hers, tiny hole, big head, Pitocin. So the Pitocin shot her out, then pulled, and that's when it started. So we took her to our pediatric chiropractor, and he adjusted her. I was still halfway through school, and everything was fine. The problem is that put her in a walker, like all babies, and like most children, they fall. So at 8 months old, she goes flying down a set of stairs at a gym, at a health club. We weren't there. Remember the old racquetball play? Do they still even have this so that you can sit, you can watch them play racquetball with the glass?
Oh yeah.
And they had they're like bench stadium seats, like you could like a big. She went down that in a walker, right, in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, so what do you do with babies? You look at them. Oh, you're fine. We thought she was fine. 8 months old. So we're adjusting. We're doing no vaccines, eating right, goat milk, everything perfect. Well, at age 5, we noticed her riding her bike, and all of a sudden she just veers off. She's playing with her friends, all of a sudden she starts walking off. I'm like, what's going on? She's daydreaming out there. Come to find out, they're called petite mal seizures. I'm like, where did that come from? There's no toxins in her body. There's no anything in her body. How did this happen? She's perfect, right? We're doing it right. Now she's shutting down. So my chiropractic isn't working. Because I had a chiropractor like John did. Just come in, lay down, get adjusted. God will heal you, you'll be fine. No measurements, no assessments. Just lay down, get adjusted. And we were good at it. But my daughter was not getting better. Age 5 to age 12, petite mals every day. Now we're scared because I don't know. I was praying sometimes that we find a tumor in her brain. At least I knew something to fix. But medical doctors, chiropractors, we can't find anything wrong. Top neurologists would say, oh, it's seizures, give her the drugs, there's nothing we can do. We don't know what's causing it. And that was across the board. I'm like, that's not a good enough answer. So, age 12, she has her first grand mal seizure at Westminster Rec Center. Almost drowns in the pool. Now I'm really scared. Age 12, I can say, oh, it got better. Age 12 to age 17, she had 40 grand mal seizures, on top of the petite mal seizures, and we're just ready to quit. We're combing the world trying to find answers, and all of a sudden my mentor, Dr. Petbot, says, if you don't have a curve in your neck or your lower back, your body won't heal. That when your spine is like this, your brain is trying to fight off the bears. It doesn't care about healing. It doesn't care about anything else except surviving. So your hormones are jacked up, the brain is racing, that's what triggers the seizures, and it just creates the flood. He says, until you get the curve back, the brain won't relax. Because it sees us as the bear's chasing. You start getting the curve back, you start introducing that into the spine, okay, and then the brain can calm down. It's the first thing I ever heard. So I said, what do do you mean? He said, well, what's her curve in her X-ray? I said, I don't know, I've never measured it. What do you mean you've never measured it? I said, I've never measured it. He said, go home and measure it. So I did. Her curve was at, again, 45 degrees is where it's supposed to be, right? For the brain to be happy. Hers was at 15. First time, and I show this every time because that was the first time I ever found anything wrong or any reason why she wasn't healing. I thought it was just me, all about me, right? No, it was right here in her spine. It was here the whole time. That's why I x-ray you and everyone else comes in here, because most of our doctors, like this one lady, most of our doctors miss it all. They say, here's the drug, here's the surgery, here's the PT. No. The problem is it's the spine. It really is. And so, he taught me how to change the spine. He says, well, 45 is ideal. Hers is 15. Why don't you focus on fixing this, and let's see what the brain does. So that's why when you come in here, first thing I need to do is get your discs strong again. Most times when the spine locks you down, your discs get all dried up like old sponges. You can't have that, because that didn't lock you. Try to, you see that mobility that you try to, you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So you drink the water, not because you're thirsty, but as you drink the water and then begin these strategic movements, that begins to cause, by imbibition, things begin to move and fluids begin to flow, and that makes the discs begin to pop up. You may get taller. Some people get taller by getting adjusted because we make the spine get more going in the right direction. So then we had her do cervical traction because we spent all our life like this, right? So you do cervical traction, put the chin under here, and do up to eventually 100 little kisses. We're not trying to jerk the spine. We just want to bend the spine in the right position and tell the brain, okay, now we got this, right? Just like doing stretching or yoga or mobility, right? We're not forcing it. We're just saying, hey, let's go this way. Then I'll have you sit in an XYZ axis, front and back, side to side, twisty twist. Begin to unwind the spine so the brain begins to realize, okay, we can calm down now. We can deflame the inflammation and begin to heal things. So once your spine's warmed up, now your brain's really happy. Now it's ready to change your spine. You lay down, you make the adjustment, right? We use the adjusting tool, we use whatever spine, cracking, lots of cracking, no cracking, doesn't matter. We turn the power on, okay? Once you're down on the table, now we just simply have changed the afferent message into your brain. Before it was freak out, freak out, freak out, and the output was pain or depression or disease or whatever it is, right? Bad relationships, okay.
Yeah.
So we just, with the adjustment now, we just changed, we corrected the loop. Now the brain can send out good hormones, good chemicals. Now good behavior begins to happen, change begins to happen because we started with the spine first. Now, to cement that adjustment in, we take the head weight, because you go back, or she goes back to the same environment that pulled it out to begin with. So we use the head weights, okay? We use the righting reflex, it's in charge of the posture and how the brain perceives the neural image. We put it on your head, and your brain goes, oh, and it reacts this way, if it's not too heavy. 1 pound, 2 pounds, half pound maybe. Like 20 pounds is too much, okay?
Yeah.
Because it works with the, I'll get into this, it works with the involuntary muscles. So it's an isometric vitalistic exercise versus, because your bicep is voluntary, right? And you fatigue it. The spine is involuntary, so when it gets fatigued, it spasms. It's the opposite. So that's why your back gets tired from shoveling all day. I was like, oh, that means you fatigued it. So now the spasm is the reaction. It's opposite. So you can't just go to Vic Tanny's or to the Nautilus machine and just do a bunch of this stuff.
Right.
You're not touching it. That's why we use the head weights, and literally the brain now begins to work it in an isometric way, in a stretching way, to stimulate and to strengthen and to heal the ligaments. And that's what we did with Leah, by platform. And so after time, we re-x-rayed her, and we saw the curves begin to come back. That's our goal. So when we re-x-ray you, I don't know how much of the curve's going to come back or what. I just know that's our intention. And when we do that, that has a recharge. It's like recharging your cell phone. That has a positive effect on the battery. That changes what the brain's talking. Now, the brain's been saying crazy things for a long time. So how fast will your spine change? I have no idea. I just know that if we don't charge a cell phone, it ain't never going to work right. Okay? So that's what we did. And now it's been, like the last 10 years, we've just seen a handful of seizures. She has her life back. She's happy. She's functional. And as long as she continues to keep herself healthy, right? Live this lifestyle, then she'll get the behavior she desires. That's what I want to do with you, okay? That's what I want to do with you. So your care plan comes with a spinal brushing kit, right? That's what we do. So at home, because we had a major input, when we adjust you, we want to keep that input supported so your spine can stay happy, your brain can stay happy, and input, and we get the output life you want, okay? So at home, we have the head weights. We'll just put it on and just sit for 5 minutes. Just let your brain just stimulate and bring healing. 5 to 20, no more than 20. Some people want to wear it longer, but 5 no more than 20, because then your pulse ox blows out on you about after 20 minutes. You want to see that stuff, okay? It's kind of cool. Do you ever use pulse oxes with your patients, with your clients and stuff to see where they're at, whether they've reached fatigue or not?
Not really.
It's kind of cool. It's one of those things. So now you can wobble every day too, back and forth, because again, you've been beat up a lot of times playing football and stuff. So every day now is all about recovery, right? It's all about the recovery. So this is what I do for recovery as well. Now, nothing's better than putting a good input in while you're sleeping. So you lay on these rolls, which is a positive input into the brain, and then so all night while you're sleeping, your brain's just healing everything while you're sleeping. So that's important too. Then every day, you hang this on a strong door, okay, and you do your traction, just like you do here. That way, you can literally take control of your health in your life and just do your tractioning and really become a spine geek. Really open up your spine, recover every day, and really watch your life get easy. That's how that works, okay? So that's your spinal brushing kit. So that's what we do. Now, I knew you were going to be here, so I wanted to load up with all the science. It's easy. So right now, everything I just talked about, science backs up. Your nervous system runs everything. Every textbook in the world, medical textbook, says your nervous system runs the show. Okay? It also says that if you have a 45-degree curve in your neck, then great. Medical science says great. You're strategically efficient with gravity. If you begin to lose that curve, then the brain reward cascade shuts off, and your reward deficiency cascade turns on, and then that turns on the bad hormones, and then that causes the bad behavior. It's poor health, depression, crazy stuff. Okay? So we don't want to do that. Science has proven that, yes, the more that hump on your back gets there, the more it robs you of your life, your emotions, your ability, your function, and life just shuts down. You're on plenty of drugs, nursing home ready, but that's what put you there is your spine. And then Dr. Windsor proved it, that if the brain can't talk to an organ, then the organ shuts down. It's basic neuroembryology, right? I mean, one day your mom and dad got together and made you. Sperm and egg came together, God blew on it, okay? Now, think about this. This is my yesterday's nerdiness. If you get a virus, your brain sees it and says, kill it. How come when that sperm and egg come together inside your mom, the brain didn't say, foreign invader, kill it? The brain said, oh, that one's special. Crank up the good hormones, and let's protect that one. You know what birth is, though? The brain says, enough, get out of here. And the immune system flips the switch, and baby gets ejected. Oxytocin.
Right.
So the problem with cancer is the brain does the same thing. Foreign invader comes in, the brain, you're so unhealthy, the brain says, leave that one alone, don't kill that one. And then cancer grows. So your body makes it. Once we turn the brain back on, you'll see some of our results. People don't have cancer anymore because the brain turns on and goes, oh, I don't want that there, get rid of it, right? So so in the womb, your brain, your spinal cord, then knitted you together, your heart and your lungs and your liver, your pancreas and your spleen and your stomach and your colon, your male organs, your prostate, your bladder, your kidneys, your adrenals. So everything about you, your hormones, your serotonin, your dopamine, your testosterone, your oxytocin, your vasopressin, your adrenaline, your cortisol, all is tied to this thing here. It put it together. So when this is happy, those are all happy. When this is pissed off, those all get pissed off, right? And so everything, your hormones, your muscles, your body, everything you need to be happy and healthy and live a great life is right here in your nerve system. And as long as this is happy, great. If not, because the spine gets pinched, then everything gets pinched. And that's what Dr. Windsor proved. He took people who died of stomach disease, lung, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, kidney, uterus, heart disease. That's why there's a lot of people getting adjusted and they still get this stuff. My patients don't. If they follow what we teach, and I'm not one patient, so I don't want any of this, right? If you follow what we teach, then this begins to get better and reverse, right? I don't have the answers for everything, but we see a lot of this. And Dr. Windsor proved back in 1921 that, yeah, they all died of these different diseases because the spine got pinched and the nerve that went to the heart got pinched, the heart diseased. When the nerves that went to the lungs got pinched, the lung disease. So good input, turn into bad input over time, organ failure. That's how it works. Because why? When someone gets breast cancer, why is it on the left side, not both sides? When a child gets ear infections, why is it on the right side, not both sides? Because that's the nerve pathway. Whatever the pathway gets injured, that's the area that begins to shut down. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Or they both, why do you have your right hip replaced, not both of them? They're both the same age. It's all about the pathway. So the first time I wish I had you in here was the day you were born. I would have done a scan on you, just like this newborn baby here got a scan. We don't want to see reds. That means birth trauma. That means the spine's pinching on the nerves. And can we leave it like this? No, we got to do something. So we started adjusting the baby, and now this is her new scan. It's a few months later. Brain's happy now. This one, brain's pissed off. So therefore, good luck trying to get this baby to sleep. Good luck trying to feed this baby. Good luck trying to, this baby when it goes to school, paying attention in memory. It's all out of whack. This baby, joy to be around. No problem. Sleeps all night. Very fun to be around. So, that's why when we adjust the spine, we change the input to the heart, the blood pressure normalizes. Heart rate variability. Do you guys test any of that at your place?
I might just on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Key. You'll see that improve after your adjustments, right? So that's cool. I'm still trying to find a good machine here to really test it consistently, besides the watches and stuff.
Just to get them to come in.
Yeah, that's even more, heart rate variability is even more predictor of where your heart's at, because it's all sympathetic, fight or flight. If it's buried, then that holds more water than the whole clogged artery thing. That doesn't make any sense to people who understand cardiology.
Yeah.
Now, think about your genes. We talked about that. Did you watch the webinar?
I watched that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the gene thing, right? So we saw that you come in with a past genetic code, a present genetic code, and a future genetic code, epigenetics. And you can change that. And they found that. And the key is that when you start getting adjusted, that changes the brain. When the brain goes happy because you're getting adjusted, the bad genes, if any of them are there, get shut off and the good genes get turned on. That's what you want, a strong genetic expression to everything, right? And that's what they proved. AIDS patients, again, there's a whole fight now about HIV and AIDS and Fucci and all this stuff like that.
I've seen
Yeah.
a bit of it, yeah.
All I know is that is when someone with AIDS gets adjusted, right, their immune system boosts up. After 6 months, they documented a 48% increase in CD cell, 4 cell count go up. So all I know is that when you get adjusted and this begins happening to you, your immune system's it's gonna have a positive, let me say it scientifically, that will have a positive influence on your host immune system. I can't say it's gonna boost it or control it because it's gonna have a positive reflection, yeah. It's like saying if I do 100 burpees a day, that's gonna have a positive influence on my level of fitness, right? So here's the cool thing, and again, this has been around since 1918. This is not new, right? 30 years I've been talking about this. If you get the Spanish flu back in 1918, and you went to a medical doctor to get medicine, you went to a medical expert to get a medical response, then you had a 1 in 15 chance of living. If you got the Spanish flu and went to the chiropractor and got adjusted, you had a 1 in 789 chance of living. So that's when the government said, not wear masks, they said go to the chiropractor and get adjusted. See, we blew it. If we would have done our job back in 1918, they'd all be having you stop wearing masks and get adjusted, because that's what really saved thousands of lives back in 1918. So, and it's still true today. So, when we change your input and you start getting a healthy output, statistically, your need to go to the hospital goes down because you're healthy. Your need for medication goes down because you're healthy. So any money you're spending on poor health now stays in your pocket. That's the cool thing, right? So, as I wrap this up, so that's why when we change the input with an adjustment and your brain begins to get stronger, Pat, no more depression. Sue, lost weight, no more diabetes. A1C went back to normal. Ryan, better focus, better grades. Mike, headaches are all gone. David's pain's all gone, off pain meds. Barb's cancer went away. Why? Because we changed the input. The brain recognized it and killed it off. Ron wants to live now, not kill himself. Mary, able to get pregnant. Again, happy brain, happy hormones, happy behavior, health and life and healing to the fullest. Jack's prostate cancer went away. Families are happy, skinny, having fun. Bill's off his blood pressure pills. Elaine, better shape, better mood. Colorado Rapids. Remember Richie? used to work at Lifetime Fitness,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Rapids. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He used to play for. We were their chiropractor back in 2010.
Okay.
And they won the MLS championship back then. Yeah, good guy. Top athletes win gold medals in 2012, 2016. Johnny's happy when he wakes up now. Bonnie's legs don't shake anymore, restless leg syndrome. Rob stopped smoking, all kinds of off smoking medication, Chantix, horrible stuff. Jess says, I see better. Paul, out of the wheelchair, walks on his own. Little Sammy, no more colic, sleeps all night. What's that do with you? When you start adjusting your spine, all the things you know about and don't know about are going to begin to get better and move the right direction. I don't treat any of this stuff. I just change the input. Your brain gets charged up, and it begins turning on the good hormones, the good healing, the good chemicals, right? So that's how that works. If we don't do this and just rely on medication, shots, and surgery, we're not going to get healthy, right? And now nurses and doctors are scared because people aren't getting, the whole thing going on out there. Cancer, heart disease, and diabetes getting worse, right? And I say, well, we've got more hospitals, we've got more Walgreens, we've got more vitamin stores, right? What's the diff? Because they're not changing the input. They're not changing the spine. You're taking lots of vitamins, but you haven't changed your mindset. You haven't changed the battery yet. Taking lots, so that's the key. So that's why women who get diagnosed with breast cancer, they're here. That's why their body's making cancer. It's a negative input, but they have no symptoms. That's why at your X-ray it tells me why I need to sit you down and put you through this, not based on how you feel. Okay. So we're all trying to find the magic medication, the magic vaccine to fix us. More and more people are dying. They only take a medication or a vaccine off the market based on how many people die from it. They go, oh, our bad. Yeah. So be careful. Cholesterol medication, it will cause you to get diabetes. It will cause erectile dysfunction, peripheral neuropathy, mitochondrial health. And they'll say, well, it's my genes. It's not your genes. It's your input of your brain. So now, if they put you on painkillers, be careful. They're highly addictive, right? Oxycontin is highly addictive. We live in Colorado, which is the second highest rate of prescription drug abuse. So again, I load all this up because if I do my job, we're never out of toilet paper, okay? People understand, oh, my body's smart. I know what to do. Okay, I'll get adjusted. I'll eat right. I'll work out like with you at Lifetime Fitness. I'll protect my mind and not watch scary movies or scary social media, and I'll be okay. But we always want to run for the medication, because that's what, and it doesn't work that way. So be careful if you have Vicodin, oxycodone, Advil, Aleve, Motrin, Celebrex in your house. It's highly addictive, highly toxic. One thing I always mention is teenagers. If you have any teenagers in your life and they need attitude adjustments, we do that. Because right now, if you can't sit still in school, and you can't remember, you can't learn, they think giving you Ritalin or Strattera or Adderall, which is a class 2 narcotic, is going to fix anything. And what that does is it really pisses the brain off, so you want to go shoot yourself or shoot your friends. Every school shooting is because they were on that medication. So when you bring teenagers, here, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. And even the journal, again, I really wanted to load you up and say, this is not some weirdo guy. The Journal of the American Medical Association says, yeah, adverse reactions to medication, leading cause of death in the United States. Now, if you fall and a kettlebell falls on your leg and breaks it, go to the emergency room, right? And let them give you drugs to knock you out. But get adjusted too. So I'm not against drugs or surgery and things like that. I'm just saying to get healthy, in your particular case, you don't need that. We need to do this. And it starts with an adjustment. And here's why I say adjustment. You know Bob Harper, right? Biggest Loser star?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What happened to him? He had a heart attack. Now how can a guy that makes that much money on TV with really cool tattoos, who's written books on yoga and meditation and vitamins and eating, right, have a heart attack? Unless healing really isn't chemical first, it's electrical. That's the only way that can happen, and that's my point. So, let's wrap this up. Here's your homework. Okay? If you pass this test, then I don't start over again. Okay? Real quick, humor me with my questions, so I know I did my job. Healing's electric first, right?
Yeah.
So, we get spine changed, then how does everything else change? You got 3 levels of health. Green grass health, brown grass health, or dead grass health. Here's what happens. If I plant seed in the ground, and I water the seed, the grass goes to green, right? If I kink the hose, though, what happens to the green grass? It goes to brown. Brown is not the problem. Brown is an expression of the lack of water, or the water's messages, if you would. Enough water, green. A lack of water, message is flipped. Now the grass is responding, reacting, like an oil light, warning, warning, warning. Out there it tells you put duct tape on the oil light. I'm saying no, put oil in the can, and it shuts off all by itself. So if we kink the hose, the grass goes from green to brown, and if we don't find it, we don't correct it, it goes to dead. That's what happened to Robert. That's what happened to John. And that's not what happened to my daughter. I found the kink, finally corrected the spine. Power got turned on electrically. Brown grass went to green grass, and now she's healthy and strong. That's what I want to do with you. So healing's electric first, and so if your brain's like this, then your body goes from green grass to brown grass to dead grass. If we flip the switch and get your brain back to here, then your body goes from dead grass, brown grass to green grass. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what that sheet says. Turn it over. Your x-rays tell me you're in brown grass right now. That's why I have you here. But you have some options. We're going to start here with you first. Then we'll work on your mindset and your belief system and what you tell yourself every day. Then we'll, if you want to work out and do a high impact workout with us on Saturday, with bands on Saturday, you can do that or do your own. I can customize your eating plan for you to find out what you need. And here's the kicker. As you get older, it changes.
Yeah.
I was teaching paleo long before ketogenic. We looked at ketogenic back in like 1993 or 4 with our daughter and the seizures. I'm like, really? That's the cool thing now, right?
Right.
So I've taught it all, but we have to customize and find out what your body wants, right? Do you need vitamins? I don't know. Are your vitamins working? I don't know. We have a customized nutrition plan to where we ask your brain, what do you want? Based on applied kinesiology. So I'll be able to tell you what foods are your friends or not your friends. Some people even what workout, what mobility is not your friends. A lot of women will have hysterectomies and stuff, and they want to get back into shape. I'm like, well, you can ride a bike, but you can't squat, because we want to keep things healing. So I need to muscle test that. Nutrition the same way. And if and when you ever get a medical test done for whatever reason, bring it to me, and I will read it, and I'll explain it in English to people, whatever it is, if you need it.
Yeah.
But the first thing we do is we start with this first, okay? Because that is really what affects the brain and your body healing, okay? And so, we're going to go back now in a minute. Just understand that when we go over your care plan, the financial options, you're going to pick how fast you want to get after this. The one option I don't want you to pick is not coming back.
Right.
Because that's just going to leave you there. That's not my rules, it's just where it's at. There's a twice a month plan, a once a week plan, a 3 times a week plan. Obviously, the faster you go. Same thing in your business. The more you come, the faster. It all depends on what you want to do.
Right.
It's being consistent. We'll either re-x-ray in 3 or 6 months. Just know that every dollar you invest in your health is actually going to deliver the promise. It's really going to make life easy because we're going to change the brain reward cascade. Out there, every penny you spend is going to actually shut it off and make things worse. That's why you can go to the emergency room for 2 days and get a bill for $45,000, and you're still not any better, right? They want you to pay that. So when you look at your options, just take a look at which one works best for you, right? And then we'll reschedule to get back again this week, either tomorrow or Wednesday. You just let them know which one you want to do, right? And we put you in our bill pay system, and we just take 1 month at a time like that, right? It's not a contract. We just want to save you money, but also make things easy for us. Make sense?
Yeah.
Same thing probably where you guys do Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah.
I first was like, they give me my information. Right now, my tire guy has my credit card number, my hair cutter has my haircut. Everybody's like, oh, just run it, this is fine. Because it makes it easier for me. If I sit down and pay it, it's just a pain in the butt, right?
Right.
So same thing with you. We just take it and it's safe, and we just run it on the dates you pick, just like your brother does. And then that just makes it easy, and then we can focus on getting you better, okay? The first 90 days includes your kit. So it's a little higher, but after you pay off the kit in 3 months, whatever, and then it goes down, right? But we'll explain all that to you, okay?
Cool.
Any questions with that?
No, not with that.
Okay, very good. Come on back with me then. We'll get you going here. Mr. Grant, can you turn that off, please? Come on with me, sir, back here.